Hello and welcome to the Techforce podcast show. I'm your host Shivani, and today we're going to talk about women in blockchain, NFTs, and Metaverse. What is new in the crypto world? What is new in Metaverse? We will let our guest talk about it. So let's welcome Lavinia Osbourne. She is a founder of Women in Blockchain Talks and co-creator of Crypto Queens NFT Marketplace. Hey Lavinia. Welcome to the show, Lavinia.
Thank you so much for inviting me to be part of your podcast. I love to be part of different podcasts from around the world where we can share all of the exciting news and the importance of blockchain technology and why everybody should find their place in it, be a part of it, and add value to it.
All right,
So
that's
so much.
wonderful. Yeah, of
Okay,
course. So,
so
can you
go
tell our listeners what do you do?
Yeah, so as Shivani touched upon, I am the host and founder of a platform called Women, or a talk show, and it's now become a platform called Women in Blockchain Talks. It first started
Right.
off as a monthly meetup, but
Okay.
now it has expanded to many things, which includes a podcast. And I'm also the sole founder of Crypto Queens NFT Marketplace, which will be the first ever female centric NFT marketplace.
No, that's wonderful. So, women in blockchain. What made you start talking about blockchain, and how are women participating in blockchain conversation?
Well, it's quite interesting because I saw an old colleague of mine. I was speaking at the Blockchain Expo in Amsterdam some time ago. And so one of my ex colleagues actually lives there. And she was saying, Lavinia, I've seen what you're doing. It's so amazing. And, it's like I remember when we were working together, how you initiated an event. The event was called Blockchain, Bitcoin, and Babes. And there was some people who didn't like the term babes, but it wasn't a term, a derogative term to me. It was a term that many women here in the UK, we call each other. It's like, all right, babes, what's up, babes? Rather than a
Right.
man,
Yeah.
rather than a man in a company saying to a woman, you know, babes, can you get me this? Or babes, shall we do? No, that would be inappropriate for a man to call a
Right.
woman in a workplace babes. But for two women who feel comfortable with each other and are just, at work, and it's just like, babes, did you see that yesterday? Babes, do you want to get some lunch? It isn't a term, like I said, that was about being derogative to women in the workplace. Anyway, point being is that that event happened and it was a really successful event. And so I think from early on, I had this passion to want to include or want to see more women in the blockchain space and to have more females talking about blockchain. And the reason I put that event on was because at that time, the company I was working for, there was only like two or three women and there were like 10 men. So, the numbers weren't great. And I said, maybe this could be a good way for us to recruit women, let them know about blockchain, let them know about the company, and see if they're interested. And off the back of that, we did recruit more women. So the outcome that I wanted and hoped for actually did happen. So my objective really in all of this is that I think blockchain is a game changer. I think people need to know about it. So I'm an advocate for blockchain technology, but I'm also an advocate for diversity and inclusion. And I think it's just very important, as I touched upon before, that women are part of the conversation when it comes to blockchain, and they're part of the building foundations that make blockchain what it will become and what it is becoming today. So that's why I talk about blockchain, and that's how women are participating. And just to say, there are many women in blockchain already. And so the objective of Women in Blockchain Talks was not only to say, hey, this is blockchain, know about it, get involved with it, but also to shine a spotlight on the many diverse and dynamic women in the space, because representation matters. And so sometimes when you see someone who looks like you, sounds like you, has a similar background to you, it makes you think, well, if they're doing it, I can do it too.
All right. That's wonderful. Actually, I was just going through your LinkedIn profile, and I saw your pictures of that Amsterdam events, and I saw the post you have made about Amsterdam event where you're talking about blockchain and everything. And it's so wonderful to see that people like you are coming up and talking about blockchain.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, right. So, I would like to ask, do you have any idea like how much percentage of women are currently aware and working in blockchain?
Yeah, so we did some research at the beginning of the year. So the data may differ depending on where you're looking at it and from the time. But
Right,
only 3% of females say a career in technology is their first choice.
right,
So that's the first thing. And then only 7.1% of executives in the blockchain industry are female. So yeah, so the numbers are quite low. There has been an increase from the time I started of more visibility of women in the space. But for me, it's not just about having women visible in the space. That's important. We want visibility, but we need to see more growth with women um, in the area of blockchain dev, in the actual technology. There's many people always asking for female technologists, blockchain technologists, and there just isn't enough. There's a handful of them around, and so there is a big push to bring more women into to introduce them to the space of blockchain development. So we're talking about Dev 3.0 rather than Dev 2.0.
right,
I know in India there's many women who study tech and also who are interested and work in the blockchain scene. But I think India, in and of itself, is a standalone country because across the board the numbers are very, very low. And we also want more women in executive positions, leading and managing and in positions of maybe being the CEO, the CFO, the CTO, and not just marketing and PR. Those jobs are fine and there's space for everyone, but we want women to be in positions where they're actually decision makers. Yeah, they're
right,
adding to the decision of how the blockchain is going to be um, is going to be molded and shaped, and what that looks like for future generations.
right, right. Like it's really new to India, but like we are just catching up, I must say. Yeah,
Okay.
right. Okay. So let's talk about Crypto Queens. It is a female-focused and female-led NFT marketplace, right?
Mhm.
And you are a co-founder of it, right?
No, I'm the sole founder. I'm the sole founder.
Okay, okay, okay. So yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah, so I'm very excited about Crypto Queen. I would be the founder, a boss of a tech company. And here I
Right,
am being a boss of a tech company, and not only the boss, but a female boss.
right,
And I feel really chuffed about it. I feel very proud of that. Right now there's a lot of work to be done, of course, and the team from India. It's led by a guy, but there are females in his team, and they're building the Crypto Queens platform. So it's nice to have the India's representing Crypto Queens as a part of the team.
That's
Part of,
wonderful.
yeah, part of the tech team. So, and that's what the wonderful thing about this time that we live in, that our teams can be from across the world, from different places of the world. I'm here in the UK, they're in India, and we're working together, remotely, and we're building something that's gonna potentially have a huge impact on the many women already in the NFT space and the many women coming into the space.
Yeah,
So I was saying that blockchain, you stated that blockchain is quite new in India. Blockchain is still a nascent technology, meaning that it's still very new. It's not established. And when I say established, I also mean that if you talk to most people on the street, they might have heard the term blockchain, but they don't know what it means. It's
right,
like, what does it have to do with me? which is one of the reasons why I created an ebook called What Has Blockchain Got to Do with Me, as a way to help people to understand what blockchain does have to do with them and why they should get involved. So if blockchain is still so new as a technology, think about NFTs. NFTs were it's such a tiny market, and we're still right at the beginning. So because we are still right at the beginning, there is so much that we can do, and there's still so much that is going to evolve from where we are. And one of the things that I think is going to evolve is niche marketplaces. So right now, the biggest platform for NFTs is OpenSea. Then you've got platforms like Nifty Gateway, you've got
Yeah,
Rarible, you've got
right.
Node Origin, right? And all of them are just generic NFT platforms, which is fine. What I want Crypto Queens to be is a place where women feel safe, secure, and supported in their endeavors to not only learn about NFTs, but create NFTs and make money from their NFTs. I want Crypto Queens to be the place where people can ask questions and feel safe about asking those questions. How to get started? What do I need to do in order to create a community? What do I need to do to market myself and market my project? Who do I speak to? Where do I go to find out information about smart contracts and building a smart contract? Because I'm an artist, I'm a creative. That's what I do. I don't know how to market. I don't know how to build a community. I don't know how to do the tech. And so we want people, women particularly, to come to Crypto Queens, and we can guide them and answer their questions and help them to be the best that they can be from the beginning, rather than feeling overwhelmed and unsure if NFTs and blockchain is a space for them. Does that make sense?
Right, it does. And I would like to add on that. Like, I recently was watching one of your live videos with the, I guess, your chief growth officer. I don't remember it correctly,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was for NFT projects. Like how, and you were talking about crypto coins only, and it is a huge wonderful thing you are doing for women out there. Like, there are many women artists who really have zero idea about how they can have a platform where they can make money out of their own art, right?
Yes, exactly. And
Yeah.
it's not just about the artists, it's for entrepreneurs as well. NFTs are blockchain is a disruptor. It's a disruptor technology, and therefore the assets that are being created within blockchain, part of the ecosystem of blockchain. NFT is part of that. DeFi is part of that, decentralized finance, and it is disrupting the way that we do things. So NFTs are going to disrupt the way that we do in a major way, and we're only at the beginning. So it's very important that women are part of the conversation, that women are taking part of it and creating in it as well. Because I believe that blockchain has the ability to allow women to lead from the front rather than chasing from behind, trying to catch up with the men in regards to equity, gender equity, and equality and diversity. At the end of the day, there are more men in this space than there are women. That is just the way that it is. But that doesn't mean that our voices and our presence can't be just as powerful as the men.
Right, exactly. That's great.
And so one of the other things with Crypto Queens as well, which is very important, is that similar to Women in Blockchain Talks, we're female focused and female led. However, we are open to men, right? So, because to me, I don't think that we can say that we want inclusivity and then exclude men. So, yeah, that doesn't make
Right.
any sense to me. Or exclude other genders. We're human beings first. So, with Crypto Queens, we're going to do an 80-20% rule. So, we'll have 80% of our artists will be female, and then 20% will be men and non-binaries. So that way we have inclusion.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to understand what is this metaverse.
Mhm.
So it is getting huge. It is changing a huge of social media these days, right? I'm seeing it everywhere. and people are transforming their businesses online. So I wanted to know what is metaverse and what are your views on how it is expanding.
Sure. So it's quite interesting. Let's take a step back. We first had blockchain technology. Blockchain
Right,
technology is a social impact. Not only is it a disruptor, but it's a social impact. What do I mean by that? It's very innovative. And one of the innovations or the innovations that blockchain wants to impact upon are for, have you heard of the 17 SDGs, the UN 17 SDGs, the social development, sustainable development goals, sorry. And so
um,
one of those goals, for example, is financial inclusion. And then they have various goals from 1 to 17. So when you think about blockchain, blockchain was brought in with under the guise of Bitcoin, or not under the guise, but with the partnership of, or not partnership, but with the innovation of Bitcoin. And Bitcoin was created for the people by the people because, it was 2008, the global crash, economic crash had started, and a group of people, it's a legend, so no one knows really what happened, but this is what people say. The myth, the legend of Bitcoin and blockchain is that a group of people came and it was like, why do all these financial bankers and global financial conglomerates have all this power? We need to create a currency that's for the people by the people, which is what Bitcoin is about. If you read the white paper, that's what Bitcoin is about. So blockchain in its first introduction to the world was and is as a social innovation and social impact technology, which disrupts the industries that are around us, particularly the finance industry, right?
right,
So we now have blockchain, we have cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, right? They're disrupting. Off the back of the cryptocurrencies, some of those cryptocurrencies had utilities. One of them, Ethereum, was a smart contract. The smart contract is a group of algorithms that says if you do A, B, C, and D, then E, F, G, and H is going to happen per se. And then so smart contracts was then created a entryway or began the entryway into NFTs. Yeah. So
right.
as you can see, blockchain, then crypto, then smart contracts, NFTs. Now it's evolving into the metaverse. Now, the metaverse always existed, but it's like the metaverse. This version of the metaverse is one where there's more interaction, where there is more ability to engage and also own the assets that you create in the metaverse. When I think of the metaverse, I think about gaming and the gaming world, that alternative where you would be in front of your television screen and you'd be playing games, collecting tokens, collecting assets. But those assets would only be able to be used in that game. You could not move it. With NFTs, you can take an NFT that could be around a game, but you can move it into your wallet, move it into another element or another part of the metaverse. So there's more fluidity and there's more ownership. Do you see what I mean?
Yes, right.
And so this is what's so exciting about the metaverse. And I think what's propelled it is the global pandemic. How the whole world went into lockdown in 2020, in 2020. It's a lost year. We're never going to get that year back. But what did people do? They went on Zoom, they went on party group online parties, they did created online parties. We moved online and we
Right,
utilized it. So people saw the benefits, and now that is like that box has been open. And because that box has now been open, we now see that there is the possibility of remote working, of people having an office on the metaverse that everyone around the world can utilize, right? So instead of it
yeah,
being the main office in London or Hong Kong or in New York, it's on the metaverse. Yeah, it's on a platform in
right,
the metaverse, and everybody around the world, irrelevant, in despite of them being remote workers, they can have that place to meet with their colleagues and to be able to work, right?
right.
So to me, that's what the metaverse stands for, and it's just an evolution of blockchain, of just what's been created around the blockchain and in the blockchain ecosystem ultimately. And we're just right at the beginning. There's so much to be done, and the impact it's going to have, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I think there's going to be a lot more good, but no one knew, in for example with crypto, that it would have the effect that it has in regards to carbon emissions. At the beginning, no one knew that, but as we learn what the impact, the negative impacts are, people brighter than myself are finding solutions to it. And so that's what excites me about this space. There are so many bright people involved who are creating solutions to problems that, problems that have been around for a long time, and problems around equity and wealth creation for everyone, not just for a few.
Right, right. That's what I was going for. I just recently read a news article where it said that a virtual land was sold for $4.3 million. I mean,
Yeah,
that's something where we are in. Like, it is one of the biggest deal in metaverse, right?
yeah.
So that's where we are.
Exactly. And the thing about, and what I love about blockchain is that there is no, if you want to create a token, I'm not saying it will succeed, but if you can create a token, do the marketing around it, create your community. You can make money as well. Many people are doing it. It's just, for me, I think there's a lot of bad actors in this space, just like there are in every space, recruitment, in marketing, in properties. There's always going to be bad characters, right? And these
Right,
characters, they don't care about other people. They don't care about the collective. All they want to do is make money. And if that means you getting hurt, or then they don't care. So we as individuals, we have to be for me, we have to be open-minded, but we have to have our eyes wide open about who we're partnering with, who we are, what projects we're getting involved in, because there are a lot of people out there who are more than happy to take advantage of people's excitement of this space and make money from them.
right, exactly. So there are pros and cons of every new thing that is happening, but we have to try it first to understand and find a solution to the problem, right? There are going to be
Exactly,
problems, and we have to find a solution to that. And
exactly.
yeah,
And
and
not
that
and and not only that, but you have to try just to see if it's for you, and see what also. Remember, blockchain, to me, people talk about it's very communicative and disruptive, but to me, I feel like it's very value led. What value can you bring into the space? What value can you add? To me, that's what, when you come into the space, it's not just about, learning how to trade crypto, making money from crypto, making money from blockchain, making money from NFTs. It's also about the value you can add. How can we talk about, we don't like this and that in the world that we live in. So how can we create a better world using blockchain technology? And what value can you add to creating that world? Does that make sense?
right, yeah, exactly. Instead of complaining, let's start creating something, right?
Right, exactly. And adding value. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Because the thing is, a lot of governments are fearful about what blockchain means to their infrastructure, and what it means to their financial, their financial setup, so to speak. So there is a lot of fears from governments about what
right,
blockchain and crypto means,
yeah.
because it's about giving power. In my opinion, I feel like blockchain and crypto, NFTs, about giving power to the people. So if it's giving power to the people, where does the government stand? So yeah.
Yeah, it's a thing. Okay. So I wanted to ask, do you invest in crypto?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you have to, there's an element of investment when you are working with NFTs. And I remember back in 2017 when I built my first crypto, and it doubled, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm going to be a millionaire. And then January 2018 came, and then it was like it was a crypto winter. And,
Right.
I basically lost everything that I put in. But this is the world of crypto. It is very volatile, and you win some, you lose some, but I don't think that it should stop you from coming in. You just always have to put in what you can afford to lose. and some people's lives have absolutely changed because of crypto and blockchain. They have become millionaires, and they have been able to earn an extra income, particularly women and ethnic minorities and marginalized groups. They've been able to change their financial lifestyle. Why? Because the entry to barrier in regards to crypto and creating wealth and learning about finances is so much lower than the traditional finance world, where people, I'm talking about here in the UK because I'm here in the UK, where people will say, well, where a financial advisor will turn around and say, well, you have to have 50,000 for me to help you. If you don't have 50,000, I can't help you. So the barrier to
Right.
entry is higher. You can't get that help. You can't get that support because you don't earn enough. But with Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies, you can start with £10 a month, £20 a month, and build up. And so the barrier to entry is so much lower. And so this gives people a chance at changing their financial situations.
Right, right, yes. Uh, okay, so as the NFT world is expanding and celebrities are also creating their own NFTs, what do you think is next for NFT in 2022?
I think you're going to see a lot more marketplaces, niche marketplaces. So just like I'm creating a niche marketplace for women, I think there's going to be marketplaces, for example, cars, antique cars, and maybe there will be NFTs around antique cars, and they will go to that marketplace, or they'll be published on that marketplace. So for everybody, because like I said, the NFT marketplace is quite small, right? We're only at the
Yeah,
beginning, just because
right.
blockchain is still very a nascent technology. So I think that when more people come into this, when the world fully wakes up to this, they'll be like, well, how can I find out? I'm interested in cars. Are there NFTs around cars? And someone will be able to say, well, I've got an NFT marketplace that's geared specifically around NFTs and cars. So that way it will help people to be like, okay, that's where I need to go, because when you're new to an environment, you're always asking questions. Well, how do I get started? Where can I find this information? And so I think niche marketplaces are going to be quite big next year. That's my thought.
Oh, yeah, that's wonderful. Actually, it is, like whatever you need, you can have an NFT of that particular thing, right?
Exactly.
You can, yeah. So, okay, would like to end this podcast. As we're coming to the end of podcast, I would like to know what advice do you have to give to our audience who are still wondering what blockchain is and just they are diving into the new trends of this crypto world.
So the first thing I would say is download my ebook, What Has Blockchain Got to Do with You? As a way to just get started. I would also say join the Women in Blockchain Talks community because it's supportive, and
Right.
we give different information and we share different links. So it's just a place to get started and to just talk to people, ask questions in a safe and supportive environment. And then also within that, there's different information will be shared. And once you get one piece of information, then you follow the trail and you go down the rabbit hole, and then you'll start learning for yourself. One of the things that Women in Blockchain Talks are doing is next year we will be hosting a crypto workshop for anyone who's interested and wants to dive in and wants to know the trends and how to get started. So we do free workshops, and we also do paid workshops depending on where you're at and what your affordability is. We also have a membership, and there's a lot of information there where you can get started and also ask questions. So Women in Blockchain Talks is a great resource to just get started. And like I said, the ebook is free. And also we created a campaign to bring 50,000 women into blockchain. And that is all about bringing them into the Women in Blockchain Talks community so that we can support you and we can answer your questions and point you in the right direction. We might not be the place that you stay, but we're definitely the place where you can get started. So that's what I would say.
Right, that's wonderful. Actually, we are doing the same. Like as Techforce, we are entering into this NFT world. We are taking new projects on building up NFT marketplaces for whoever requires, and we are like helping out the artist to come up and wondering if what is NFT, how they can mint it, how they can create it.
Mm.
So yes, we are also planning to do something like that. So
Awesome.
next year, yeah.
Well, if you want to do any collaborations, if you need any support, then that's what we're about. Collaborations, not competition.
Definitely. We can do that, right?
Mm.
Definitely. Okay, so would like to end it on some closing quote. So
Mm.
would you like to say something really nice to our audience?
Of course.
Yeah.
So this is my quote that I put together, and it really encompasses what I believe about blockchain. So the blockchain ecosystem is rapidly growing. Even so, there is a space for you, and there really is a space for you. So start learning, start connecting, and collaborating. Your future self will thank you for it. Lavinia Osbourne. That's my quote.
Perfect. That's a perfect note to end this podcast.
Brilliant. Thank you so
All
much
right.
for having me.
Okay, thank you, Lavinia, for joining the podcast. It was wonderful to talk about crypto queens and women in blockchain. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And it's Women in Blockchain Talks. Just so if your listeners are Googling Women in Blockchain Talks.
Okay. So that was Lavinia talking about NFTs, Metaverse, and blockchain. Stay tuned to the Techforce podcast show for more such amazing topic on blockchains and cryptocurrency. I'm your host Shivani, signing off. Goodbye, take care.